Hi, my name is Sage. I'm 26 years old, and prior to MAP, I suffered from childhood trauma, particularly around my gender identity and my relationship with men. What brought me to the MAP healing program was that all of my friends were doing it, like a lot of my friends were doing MAP and getting great results. And also, a lot of my friends worked for MAP anyway, so they were reputable to me and I trusted them. So that led me to invest in my own trauma healing as well. So prior to going into my MAP healing session, I felt really just bad and low, a lot of the time when these triggers would come up about my trauma, like, you know, if somebody would misgender me, or if I would look at myself in the mirror and see that, in my mind at least, see that I was inadequate or wrong, or look at my body and I think it would be wrong, as a transgender woman, I would feel really heavy, and I would feel like I was almost like in a glass cage, and all the good of being a woman was outside of that cage, and I was inside of it. And that's how I felt, before MAP. And then, yeah, I was just so, I was in such a dark place there still, even after working on healing that inside of me for a long time. So I went into my MAP session and I was a little bit nervous, but I had a really trusting and peaceful feeling inside of me because I knew that it was going to resolve my trauma. I had complete trust and faith that it would do so. And yeah, the creator of MAP, Jeff Ian, and his team have only ever done right by me and loved me. So I knew that this was going to be a great healing experience. And, it was, lo and behold. What MAP did for me afterward, first of all, right afterward, I felt like I had shed like 50 pounds, but kind of in a psychological sense. Like, I felt like I was immediately free of these burdens, like immediately. It wasn't like, oh, I kind of still feel the same. Oh no. Oh no. It wasn't like that at all. I immediately felt lighter, and I started to like get to know myself and get to know who I was in such a deep way. Like, it was I started to really like unveil and uncover who I was in a deep way, in a way that I had never been able to access before. Yeah, and it was like the person who I always kind of knew I was, but that I couldn't quite fully embody, I was finally able to be her, and I was finally able to trust in, like, sort of, surrender into who I was, instead of being so torn and conflicted and in pain about it. Yeah, and then the other thing I noticed too, it was like just the next night afterward, I was back to doing my job, driving Uber, and the men who got in the car with me, I noticed when men would get in the car with me, I didn't feel so nervous and self-conscious and inhibited around them, and I had had a lot of fears around men, and I could feel like I could be myself around them instead of being so so held hostage by my trauma. Yeah, and I've just noticed my deportment, my mannerisms, my way of speaking, my acceptance of myself, my facial appearance, my satisfaction with how I look, my satisfaction with how I speak, my view of myself being less self-critical. All of that has improved. I can look in the mirror and authentically say, that I love myself, and I love myself regardless of how I look, but also that I love what I see, and that I see myself as a woman. And all of these traumas where I felt like my identity was under attack, basically, um, were completely dissolved, you know? So, um, and then, yeah, that's what the MAP session did for me. And then, you know, all of the follow-up meetings, the aftercare program, really helped me release emotions in the emotional release sessions, release all of that trauma, the remnants of it, and also really solidify my new choices I had made during the trauma healing session. I highly recommend MAP to anybody who's suffering from any sort of trauma. I highly recommend MAP to transgender and other people in the LGBTQ world. You know, it's time for us to rise up and overcome trauma, and this is the easiest, most powerful, and probably almost definitely most cost-effective way to really seriously, permanently resolve your trauma. So, yeah, thank you for your time. I appreciate you listening. I hope that you too find the healing that the mind alignment process has given me. And yeah, please have a nice day. Thank you.